Hello. Um, this video is supposed to be for the fourth episode of the series mentioned, and this is about game UI and retrieving their values. So, what exactly am I talking about? I'm talking about buttons and sliders, and also we're gonna know how to use mouse cursor to interact with them, and I'm gonna show you some cool debugging features that come along with it. But I noticed that there was a collision bug when you first download the package, so I'll fix that in the update. But anyways, let's just get started. This thing from episode 3, this should be gone because we already created a collision system. And first, I'm gonna show you a demo. And what we're gonna be doing today is that can dynamically change text using f strings and sliders, as you can see. Y high game widgets. You can see that there's some text here, difficulty. You can also set it to hard. Then you can actually play the game. It's very hard, like very hard. As you can see, very, very hard. So we're gonna be remaking all of this. So first, also uploading a new short today. So I'll link to it. I'll leave a link to this video in the short. But first, we're gonna be creating a main menu scene. So probably already know how to create a scene. So et voila, we already set up the scene. Magic ability. So first, we're gonna be setting up vertex screen. We're gonna be setting up vertex screen and the Pygame we're talking about. So, self.vs is equal to vertex screen, and then self.ui is equal to UI. So the reason that we get this error because I forgot to import it. The way to import it is from VertexEngine dot vertex widgets dot pygame b widgets for all. So the reason we're using all is because I'm gonna be all of the features so far. But if you're watching this in the future, there may be more features, so I wouldn't recommend doing that. So the reason we use self.ui's UI manager is because we're gonna be adding widgets and drawing them. No drawing, we're gonna do it in define. So first, let's make a draw event function. So we're gonna be doing self.ui.draw. If you can hear my voice, let me know down in the comments. But if you can't, that will actually help me about it. So say in the comments if you can't hear me because I'm using a lot of filters, but I don't know if this will work because I'm using OBS. So anyways, the last function is handle event, and we're gonna be using self.ui.handle event. So this will allow UI manager to draw the UI, update the UI, and handle the events of the UI. So next we're gonna be creating a style sheet, style class. So self.style is equal to the style class. Not scene style. What this does is that it will give your stuff, it will give your whole, it will be a shared style sheet that all of your widgets will use. And you can create multiple style sheets for if you want multiple themes, but I'll just explain all the parameters later. So again, 3, 2, 1. And voila, we got the style class set up. And I'll explain what these parameters are. So please note that there's more parameters and I'll explain them by tutorial. The first one is the background color. The background color used for buttons and stuff. Like background music, if background sounds, if there's any. Um, Hover color, it's the fill color used in sliders and stuff. The press color is just the color when you press a button. The text color is the color of the text side of a button. Font size is the font size of text in the widget. Then border radius is just around this. So this is a simplified explanation. Basically, the higher the border radius, the more round it will look. So something like 0 would look like a square. A 10 would be more round. You can set the style sheet if you want. But moving on, let's learn how to create a button. In order to create a button, you can just do this. So self button 1 equal to button. Now let's set some parameters. These are the parameters that this my copilot gave me. The updates of VS Code. So it might be wrong. I'll check. Okay, this might be good. So let's see. Hey, this is wrong. So I'm just gonna do it myself because x. So first one, x will be equal to x to y. Then width, x height. Then text is equal to start game. On click equal to lambda. Oh my god. You can set this into a function whenever you want, but I can do it. But I'll just do it. So instead of this, let's just do self start game. Now let's define. Sorry about that. My disk space ran out. Ignore the loud background sounds. I cleaned it up, so it should start working. Um, what do you explain this? All right. So the next one, then this from main menu. Us. This is the starting scene. So if it's wrong, yeah, you're gonna start the wrong scene. It should work. Yes, we see a button, and if we click it, we start the game. So but wait, we're missing something. What that is? You probably guessed it. The slider. Basically, we're gonna have to refactor our code again. So I'll just cut to after I make the slider, and I'll explain its stuff. So 3, 2, 1, bam. Sorry for the fail thing. I already do. This is a slider. So what is going on here? As you can see, the parameters are x, the y, width, and height. They're the basic ones, but there's more. In fact, I already do it. So the next one is the minimum value, so 30. Next one will be 120. One thing. Oops. Min value is equal to max value, 20. What this is, minimum value will be, but the maximum value will be 120. So we're gonna change this to a variable. So x equal to self.engine. argument, and then after that we're immediately do next dot spawner time equal to self dot slider dot value. So we'll set the spawner time to the slider value. The lower, the faster, the higher, the the slower. Like this one. Hooked right now. So let me going on here. Hold up. Just gonna do my okay, so I fixed it. So it should be working now. Basically what I did is value. So it wouldn't work. But this should work now. Let's see. And it works. But because of it. So let's try a different start. Start value equal to 75 because that's in the middle of 30 and 120. There we go. The reason it's a bit gray is because of our style, but you can change it to anything else you want. You can change it to be a little more colorful, but this one made for me 80. And let's see if this works. There, much better. Now let's make an updating slider value. So remember how we defined self dot vertex screen? Doing that so self yes dot font is equal to self dot vs dot font none. Let's set it to 48. None will default to the system font, aka Real. We're gonna try font dot and do font dot draw surface. This will be the title, so you can name it anything you want. Call it tutorial edition. This must be tuple. Two values in the tuple. Then this one will be another tuple of RGB color. I'm just gonna hope that this. Last time I checked 55. 5. Let's move it up. It's still off. Let's try 130. Still off. Let's try one. It's off again. God, it's just so annoying to keep on typing all over again. There we go. Much better. We got the tutorial game logo thing work. Now let's move on to the next thing. Let's define another font. Font. Small font. Equal to self that gets that font. Let's try a size of 15. Sorry about that. How to explain this? I ran out of storage again, so I'm kinda it cut again, and this time it's pretty large. But the recap is that I just set this to 24 because turns out 15 is small, and this is what it looks like right now. So as you can see, we have a spawn timer down here, and also this is the code for the this is the code for the draw function. So pause and copy this. Anyways, now let's move on to the last add-on for today. So for the final for the final part of this video, let's add a difficulty meter. So in order to add a difficulty meter, basically it's just a stack of if statements, as we saw in the demo. Where yeah, here just a stack of if statements. Also, it's called label font for some reason. Anyways, let's go. So if self dot slider dot value is less than 11, do difficulty insane. Copy the code. Here is lower volume.